Right now at 6, Governor Evers' latest lieutenant is the first Democrat to run as his replacement. The swing she's taking in her first campaign message.
And sentencing day for the La Crosse man convicted of human trafficking. What the court decided.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown. Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is running for governor. She made that announcement this morning, making her the first Democrat to enter the race after Governor Tony Evers announced yesterday he will not seek a third term. Rodriguez has served as Evers' second in command since 2023 and previously served in the state assembly. If elected, she would be Wisconsin's first woman governor. During her announcement, she spoke out against President Trump's policies.
So, here's why I want to be your governor. First, we've got a maniac in the White House. His tariffs are killing our farmers, and his policies are hurting our kids. Next, our legislature refuses to expand Medicaid, even though 41 other states have done it.
Today, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley also said he'll be taking steps toward entering the race. Many other Democrats have said they're considering a run, from state senators to former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. The 2026 election is the first open race in the battleground state of Wisconsin since 2010.
A News 8 Now update on the death of 22-year-old Viterbo grad student Elliot Hines. Police say they have found no criminal conduct related to her death. A preliminary autopsy showed no evidence of foul play. Final results will not be completed for several months. Hines's body was found in the Mississippi River near Brownsville Wednesday morning. She had been missing since early Sunday morning.
A La Crosse woman is sentenced to 4.5 years in prison for her 15-month-old son's death. Brittany Baisley will get credit for a year already served. After prison, she will have 3 years extended supervision. Police say her toddler turned blue and died after fentanyl exposure in September 2023. The child's father there, 43-year-old Levon Liggins, also faces charges. The Liggins has pleaded not guilty. The judge today acknowledging the pain in the courtroom.
I don't view you as someone who is intentionally causing harm to Tavon, but on the other hand, the risks that are associated with exposing children or other people to fentanyl and some of the other lethal drugs in the community can't be understated in any.
A La Crosse man is sentenced for human trafficking and kidnapping today. 45-year-old Dre Broadnax will spend 16 years in prison, followed by 8 years of extended supervision. Broadnax is guilty of forcing a Wausau woman to travel to La Crosse to have sex with multiple men after she lost drug dealing money.
An Onalaska man is in custody after crashing a stolen motorcycle twice while fleeing police. Holman PD say Jonathan Jarrow was allegedly driving 90 miles an hour on Highway 53 when police tried to pull him over. After Jarrow failed to stop, he lost control and crashed into a ditch. He got back on the bike and continued on County Road OT before crashing again, that time flipping multiple times. He was taken into custody and transported to a medical center. A program that helps rehome survivors of domestic violence is growing.
New Horizons Shelter and Outreach Centers received a $250,000 grant from the state. News 8 Now's Grace Monk has the details on how they plan to use the money.
New Horizons has a program that helps them rehome people fleeing domestic violence. Thanks to some new funding, they're going to expand that program to other parts of La Crosse County. New Horizons Rapid Rehome program provides financial assistance to individuals and families fleeing domestic violence and related crimes. For 12 months, households receive money to help pay for things like rent and utilities.
Before we had this program, there are a lot of wonderful housing programs in the community, but none specific to serving victims of domestic violence.
Since 2022, they've helped 12 households, most of them located in La Crosse. But now a $250,000 state grant will expand rehome efforts in Onalaska, Holman, Bangor, and West Salem.
Oftentimes they lack the resources to be able to get out on their own, which can then cause a person to stay in that relationship so that they have housing for themselves and or their kids.
Data from the greater La Crosse area says at least 26 families and 34 individuals have identified as homeless after fleeing from domestic violence. Svi says the program can reduce those numbers and help survivors take back control of their lives.
It allows the freedom of people to, one, leave, but also freedom and choice of where they would like to live.
The center will use the money as well for a new full-time housing advocate. Reporting in La Crosse, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Rotary Lights has wrapped up its final Friday food drive as of just a few minutes ago. Volunteers have been collecting non-perishable food or cash donations at the old Kmart on State Road and the Onalaska Hy-Vee. Officials say these donations help feed kids who lose access to school meals during summer break.
Every pound helps. I mean, if you can only bring 1 can of vegetables or 1 can of fruit, every little bit put together with the community helps. And the need is going to always be there. Let's take care of each other.
Officials will be taking food donations at Moon Tunes on Thursday nights.
Well, a birthday celebration at Fort McCoy, the Army Community Service Program, officially turned 60 today. It's tailored to offer comprehensive care for service members and their families at every step in their military career. Service members can get assistance with anything from in-person counseling to applying for a loan. The program director says she wants ACS to help break the stigma around asking for help.
We try really hard to eradicate that by just offering the program. So if anything, for me, it's just really important for people to know that if you need help, come talk to us and we'll help you. And it's important for leaders to really be more transparent and vulnerable.
Today's celebration was open to all Fort McCoy soldiers, military families, and post-DoD civilian employees.
Well, it's Holman Community Night at the Lumberyard today for a Lacrosse Loggers doubleheader. Our sports and weather teams are out there tonight.
Let's check in first with Greg for our latest forecast. Greg.
Yeah, it's unfortunately the little cumulus cloud that gave us some nice shade is kind of pushed off. So we got some sunshine right now, but overall the temperatures are still pretty reasonable. And for areas further north, they've had some haze, but overall not too bad. That air quality is still out for another few hours, but really you got to go further north to see any quality of issues. The haze is pretty much pushed east, so that's the good news going in. Otherwise, the dew points there came down a little bit, but if you notice right to the southwest, there is the 70s right on the doorstep, so that eventually will come back this weekend. Overall highs today, pretty close to where they should be. But as we go throughout tonight, we should see not too much of an issue, really. Just partly cloudy skies. Overall, pretty seasonable temperatures. A little muggy here and there, but overall 75 degrees. That'll clear. And very similar stories we get towards La Crosse, too. Off and on cloud cover, getting back down to the upper 70s with a little bit of a breeze. But still, you're starting to feel it. Now, as we look at radar, there's the boundary that's going to be coming back up north that'll produce the heat, humidity, and eventually maybe some storms, but it's still got a ways to go. Tonight, overall, it will be warmer, a little bit more muggier than we had last night. And then going forward, too, coming up, we have the storms we got to kind of time out. When all this heat will come to an end, and some refreshing temperatures are in the forecast. Now, we're still out at the log as they have a doubleheader, and I got the sports director here right now, Jacob. Kind of as we're out here enjoying this nice conditions too for overall for the game that's going on right now.
This is your first game of the year, right, Greg? This first game of the year so far. It's definitely a big crowd for Holman Community Night. Having a lot of fun so far. Is the clouds? Are they going to stay away? Or what's the?
Well, we got serious clouds up right now, so unfortunately the sun's going to be out. But we got a little bit of breeze. Yeah. It's not too bad. You just have the sunscreen on. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, breeze has been nice. Thank you very much, Greg. Now we'll bring in my fellow man, Kate Overton here with me, the fellow sports anchor for the game. The Loggers are trailing right now in the third inning, 2-0, Kate. They're trying to break a little bit of a losing streak. So what do they got to do as the playoffs roll around here?
Well, they already have a playoff spot clinched. They did that early in the first half of the season, but hit a bit of a slump. They did the same thing last year, had a hot start to the season, kind of slowed down, but they picked it right back up for the playoffs, made it to that Northwoods League Championship game. Maybe they can do a little bit of the same, see if history repeats itself, but they got to find a way to get hot and start getting some wins before the end of the season.
Yeah, they're hoping to turn things around. Maybe the WKBT team can bring some luck and get the win streak going a little bit. I've already got some Dippin' Dots and pretzels in me here for tonight, so we're already feeling good early in this one. But we'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Later in sports, we'll talk to GM Ben Kapanke, so make sure you tune in for that.
Excellent. Good stuff, guys. Thank you. Coming up tonight at 6, it is an option President Trump could take: his comments on a potential pardon for convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell.
And it's all around us, and now it's linked to debilitating diseases. What a new study just discovered. President Trump faced more questions about Jeffrey Epstein Friday as he departed for a trip to Scotland.
In Florida, the president's former personal attorney and now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche wrapped a second day of questioning with Epstein's co-conspirator and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell's attorney said she answered every question without the promise of anything in return.
Of course, everybody knows Miss Maxwell would welcome any relief. She's been in very difficult conditions for 5 years.
Yeah. President Trump says he has not considered a pardon for Maxwell.
A new study links dementia to air pollution. Research from the University of Cambridge finds long-term exposure to air pollution from car exhaust emissions, wood-burning stoves, fireplaces, and construction dust were all robustly linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Researchers used data from almost 30 million people, mainly in Europe and the U.S., which represent wealthier nations.
We're not fully capturing the risk faced by the populations in low and middle income countries who often face much higher pollution concentrations. And therefore, I think that the burden is likely underestimated in our study.
Scientists expect the number of people with dementia worldwide could triple by the year 2050. Wisconsinites will be one of the first to taste test McDonald's new drinks. The fast food giant is releasing new drinks in hundreds of U.S. stores. They include cold coffees, refreshers, crafted sodas, and energy drinks. They'll be available in Wisconsin and Colorado in early September.
We will have more news ahead.
But first,
hey, we got the heat and humidity is returning, unfortunately, for the weekend. We have 90s in store. We have heat indices above 100 potentially, and also storms on the way. We'll explain all that coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break. Yeah, we still have some haze out there further north of smoke. The good news is that is pushing east, so that really won't be an issue for most of the area now as it kind of pushes off. So the air quality issues they had up north, that's pretty much going to be done with, and that'll be it for smoke for now. Now, overall, the big temperatures tonight we're going to see really is cloud cover beginning to increase overall. So tonight it'll feel a little bit more muggy. All the storms to the south in Kansas and Oklahoma are going to begin to push up to the area. We're not going to get any precipitation, but we are going to get cloud cover. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, there's going to be quite a bit of cloud cover further south you go. You see the precipitation there's in southern Wisconsin. That's about the extent I think we'll see of it. It'll just continue to push through the area. Then as we get towards the afternoon time frame, we'll start to see a little bit more improvement and more sunshine too. So that's the story for Saturday. So overall, not too bad. As we go throughout the weekend, we're going to have hot conditions Sunday, but then the storms come back Sunday night. And right now, they're going to probably start off in the northern Minnesota, and then begin to slide southward overnight. As they get closer to our area, they'll slide southeastward, and they could last all the way through Monday morning. And they could be severe. We'll have to keep an eye on that time frame and heavy rain as typically you would expect with this activity coming through. So that's really the extent of the storms for right now. Overall, for temperatures going through tomorrow, more mid to upper 80s. The humidity is going to start increasing, especially further north you go where they had kind of more of a break than further south. Now, as we go on to Sunday, that's when the temperatures start getting back in the 90s. We have less clouds, more sun, and the dew points get in the 70s. That means heat indices could get back up into the 100 or near that range really as we go into the afternoon. So something to stay hydrated for Sunday afternoon, sunscreen and all that. You'll need to keep going. Eventually, as we go through Sunday night into Monday, we'll have another type of temperatures going in. So Monday looks also hot and humid. We'll have then heat indices once again getting back up into that maybe around 100 to 105 again, too, as you load 3 p.m. We're sitting in the upper 90s. A lot of this also depends on how much cloud cover goes on each night, but overall it is going to feel quite humid and hot. And then there's your temperatures for Monday as we look at those temperatures. 90s, mid-90s. It's going to be pretty hot and humid, kind of like we've had this earlier this week with that one day. So something to keep in mind at the start. Then it really does a big change. Tuesday, more storms, a little bit cooler, and then below average temperature really is a theme from Wednesday all the way potentially through next weekend, and that's because we're going to have a little bit of a cooler air mass come down from Canada. As the west starts heating up, we're going to start cooling back down as the wind flow begins to change. Now that should last probably throughout the week, and then going into the weekend, I think we'll start seeing that ridge out west begin to approach. But you notice all those hot temperatures still out to the west. We're now at Thursday and into Friday. And then eventually by next weekend, you'll start seeing those winds begin to change a little bit. So I think we will recover a little bit, but still we're not expecting any type of heat condition going on all the way through next week once we get past Sunday. So remember, Sunday night storms coming into Monday morning, hot and humid Saturday and Sunday, and then there's that big change. Upper 70s here in La Crosse. You go further north, low to mid 70s, and that means overnight temperatures are going to be back probably into the 50s too. So a refreshing change to see. Now tonight still okay back at the Loggers game. We got the doubleheader minus the sun out here. It's not too bad, so definitely enjoy it as we go forward and get out here and enjoy the second game.
All right, and Greg, we thank you very much. It is getting much nicer out here. A lot of people funneling in for Holmen Community Night. Coming up in sports, we're talking to the general manager of the Loggers, Ben Kapanke, talking playoffs and also the team's involvement in the community. Coming up next.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Good evening, everyone, and hello from the Lumberyard. The Loggers have tied it up since the last time we talked, 2-2 now in this game, the first one of the doubleheader tonight, and it feels a little bit like Friday Night Frenzy because we're live in the
we're getting
field
ready
right now.
for
We're
it.
getting close to it. Not quite football weather yet, but we will welcome in now Ben Kapanke, general manager of the Loggers. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us. But what a fun night, fun night of action for Holmen fans, all being here for Holmen Community Night. So just talk to us about why you guys like to get involved with so many communities around the area.
Well, it's such a big thing what we do, right? We have so many great partners with Holmen and La Crescent and other outlying areas, and for them to come to the ballpark, have a good time. You see a lot of maroon in the park tonight, right, with Holmen, so it's just cool to see all the kids running around with the jerseys on and taking the game of baseball.
Awesome. Now, a lot of good promotional nights, also a lot of good baseball. You've got players from all over the country, Power 5 schools, community college. You've even got local guys with Ashton Mitchell, Eddie Peters. Kind of just give us a behind the scenes on what that team building is like in the off season. How do you find all these guys throughout the country?
It's really about building relationships with the local colleges and the universities there and building rapport with their program. And they know that we're going to take care of their players. We know they're going to send us quality guys, and it's fun to kind of build that out. Obviously, there's a lot of, coming and going over the course of a season with 72 games, but by and large, these guys get here, they get on the field for a couple of practices, and off they go. And they've really built a strong bond and had a great first half and made the playoffs. So, and we want to finish strong here in the second half and see if we can keep this thing going.
Yeah, so what's that like? You've got an initial roster going into the year, but a lot of guys have changed. Do you have guys on standby waiting to come join the team? Just how does that kind of work?
Yeah, we have rapport with the coaches, and with players can be shut down due to innings pitched, whatever the case may be. We're always in communication. We're always recruiting, and we got guys that are coming on board, and even guys that maybe were on last year's roster that are looking for their opportunities. So always an opportunity to come out here and play and have some fun. And even if it's July 25th today, there'll still be guys coming and going all the way till the end of the year.
And Ben, you guys are always towards the top of the league in attendance and other great attendance numbers here tonight. So what can fans expect if they're looking to come to one of these last few home games of the regular season, or else even the playoffs if that's an option?
We have about a third of the season left, right? So the summer's just flying by. We have some great promotions coming up with, we're doing a Mount Rushmore bobblehead giveaway of sorts with our favorite Loggers from the past 23 years. We have a lot of community nights. We're doing a hockey night next week. We're doing a tribute to CMN next week as well. Fireworks shows yet still in the works. So we have just a handful of games left, but they're going to be action-packed. And come on out and see us because, again, there's always something to do, there's always something to see, and you might see a future big leaguer.
That's true. One of the many perks, a lot of great big leaguers have come through the Loggers here, so we're looking to see plenty more. And, hey, you can always say, hey, I talked to a future big leaguer maybe in the future one day if you're one of those kids. So that'll do it for us here from the Lumberyard. We'll hopefully see if the Loggers can get maybe back in the win column. They're struggling a little bit, but there's plenty of time to get hot as the first game is wrapping up here. We'll have highlights later tonight at 10, so make sure you join back with us later for that. But for Kate Overton, Ben Kapanke, and Jacob Lensdorf, we'll have more weather after this.
All right, tonight we just have really nice conditions. It's going to be a little warmer, a little more muggier, especially if you go further north. Now, tomorrow the temperatures do come up, but it's still going to be okay. It's then when we go towards Sunday and Monday is when the hot and humid conditions come. We have the storms coming through Sunday and Monday. But the good news is it doesn't last long. Tuesday we come back down, and then great temperatures really as we go Wednesday through the rest of the forecast. Upper 70s, near 80, and pleasant conditions, you guys.
Yeah.
Come out here and join it. We still got another doubleheader to go, and it's over. Not too bad, even with the sunshine out.
Yeah, looks like a great Friday night. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6.
And we'll see you tonight at 10.